Okay, so welcome back. We're going to start working on our map maker tool. If we just take a look at what we've done here, I've placed in there a basic div with some buttons, and we've got 3 buttons here. We've got single placement, mass placement, and an arrays, and each of these will become apparent of what their use will be shortly. Under that, we've got a div, and inside that we've got PHP tags with a for loop inside. So this parent div, we're just going to give some styling. We're going to give it some width of 550 pixels, and then inside of here we're going to echo out another div tag with a styling on its own. Okay, so here's our echoed div tags. We're giving it a styling of width and height of 50 pixels. We're giving it a black border. We're floating them all to the left, and we're giving them a margin of 1 pixel. If we come over to our browser, this is what we've got. So this is going to be our grid for each of the maps. We're going to have a 10 by 10 map. That gives us 100 cells altogether. Now I'm going to be putting these the cell information into an XML document. So I'd say that with the size of this map, the map maker is a pretty good idea, due to the fact that otherwise we'd have to manually manipulate 100 different cells by hand inside of an XML document. Right, so now we need a way to manipulate each of these cells. We'll do something very basic first. Under here, or under this div, we'll just create another div, and inside that we'll give it a select box, and then in each of these, in the select box, we'll have option boxes, option tags, and in each of these option tags we're going to put in the different types of tiles we can use. So I've given a rough description of what each of the tiles that we have are. As you can see here, we've got our horizontal wall, and we've got the horizontal which ends on the right and one ends on the left. We've got our plane, and we've got our vertical which ends at the top, and the vertical which ends at the bottom. So when we save this, you can see up here we have each type of wall piece, or each type that we can currently use. Under this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a little box which generates an image of that tile. So in order to use our tiles, what we're going to do is we're just going to save this image, save it, and we're going to save it into our folder, tools, in the map maker, and just call it tile sheet. Now we're going to use a CSS style sheet. Now the first class we're going to make is, let's call it tile plane, and we're going to give it a background image of this tile sheet. Okay, so here we have our tile being output. In the styling, I've done a style for each tile. We've got our plane, we've got our wall, vertical wall. Our vertical wall ends at the top, bottom, our horizontal ending on the right and ending on the left. So, on this option box, we're going to give this an on change event of change tile, and inside that we're going to say this dot val and with a semicolon, and we're going to give each of these options a value of the class names that we've assigned each of these tiles. So as you can see here, each of these options has the value of the corresponding class to the wall piece, the tile that we want to place. So now for some JavaScript, we're going to need to include our Jquery file. So we'll get the source of this from our scripts folder and close that off. There we go. Function change tile x, and it's going to be a simple class whatever, because we haven't assigned it yet. And the attribute of its class we're going to change to x. So on this div here, sorry, this is going to have to be an ID. Oops. Give this an ID of, let's say, JS tile holder or hold, and then we can give that the same thing there. So now if we come over and refresh, when we change the tile type here, you can see that our tile here is updated. So tile selection is good. Okay, so what do we want to do now? We want to start changing these tiles to show the image of the tile that we've selected. Okay, so I've generated an on-click to each of these little divs, which places the current selected tile class onto that div. So if we come back over to the code, on click for each of these divs we've got a place tile function, and that place tile function is a simple command saying the event target, and we're changing the attribute its class, and we're changing it to the JS tile hold attribute of class. So it's the value of that div's class, which we change through the select box. So we can see here we can change the tile types to suit what we want to place. And it's as simple as that so far. Now the next thing we want to do is look at mass placement. Now the mass placement is going to use this Jquery plugin. So we'll take this, all this Jquery here, all this code here, and we'll start a new JavaScript file and just whack that in there, and we'll save this again in here. We'll just say mass select.js and then we'll include it on our page. Tools, mapmaker, select, and we'll save that, and we'll come back over and grab the CSS from there and just add it into there like so. So let's see if we can at least start selecting these. Let's do the onReady function. So we're going to select the class map box. Flip. Dot. Drag to select. Selectables. It is going to be div, and then we do on hide before the video runs out. I'll just pause this. Okay, so it took a bit of time to work it out, but this is our final result. All those grey ones are the ones that have been selected, and we'll figure out some way of turning all of them tiles into the selected tile on the next video, but we can still place our single tiles down as we want to. So join me in the next video and we'll carry on.